turning point, you're gonna find out real quick. It takes a lot more to be the best here.
Sing his name and he appears. I believe in JoeHenry. I believe in JoeHenry. Cause I love London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico.
Making his way to the ring, weighing in tonight at 248 pounds, from Edinburgh, Scotland, this is JoeHenry!
We are set for the finals of the Glasgow Cup tournament here inside the O2 Academy in Glasgow, Scotland, where JoeHenry makes his home just outside of Glasgow, but hails from Edinburgh, Scotland, so plenty of home turf advantage for the most inspirational and motivational man in wrestling.
It's gotta feel good for JoeHenry to come here to his home country, bring the inspiration that he's brought to so many across North America back to the homeland, back to the heart.
Folks, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I just want the world to know how much of a privilege it is to bring Impact Wrestling right here to Scotland once again. The future is looking very bright indeed for this company, but it's also looking bright for JoeHenry, because that right there, if I can beat the legend that is Frankie Kazarian and win that, then I prove that I belong on this stage. And what they believe in is 252 pounds of pure motivation. The answer to all life's problems. They believe in JoeHenry.
A strong homecoming for the Scotsman, but like he said, a very tall task ahead of him in his opponent here tonight.
And his opponent, hailing from Yucca Valley, California, he is the heavy metal rebel, Frankie Kazarian!
The five-time X-Division champion Frankie Kazarian, who in the first round of action took out the UK phenom, the 19-year-old Leon Slater, who will be in action tomorrow night as the countdown to Turning Point. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, free on Impact Plus, YouTube, and Fight TV. Meanwhile, JoeHenry, he dispatched Rich Swann in the first round of this tournament to make it here to the finals. Kazarian and Hendry about to go one-on-one. Who is going to walk out of the O2 Academy with the Glasgow Cup?
And you see right there, the heavy metal rebel there, he's already ready to take a sip right out of the cup itself. But for Hendry, I mean, you got to imagine there is a lot riding on this in just terms of pride. We are here on your home soil. You are ready to get bringing Impact Wrestling. You heard the chants at TNA. It's on our horizon. There's a lot of pride on the line in many ways here for JoeHenry.
This is a huge week altogether for Impact Wrestling. Be a part of the final live event under the Impact Wrestling banner on Saturday, December 9th. It's Final Resolution live in Toronto on Impact Plus, Fight TV, YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders. Tickets go on sale Friday, November 3rd at 9 a.m. Eastern via ImpactWrestling.com. And as you mentioned, Raywall, in 2024, TNA is back. Nice sign of sportsmanship there. That's what this company is all about. On Saturday, January 13th, Hard to Kill will mark the return of TNA Wrestling. We'll be live on pay-per-view, Fight TV, and YouTube at the Palms in Las Vegas for Hard to Kill on the 13th. And join us on Sunday, January 14th for the TNA Snake Eyes Extravaganza. Tickets go on sale Saturday, November 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific time via ImpactWrestling.com.
Gonna be a hell of a kickoff to 2024 for Impact, soon to be TNA, but let's not forget all the terror we've been making through the UK, especially here. I'm just so excited we're back here in Scotland. Cover there. Oh, that would have been an early Glasgow Cup there for JoeHenry.
And I mentioned tomorrow night is Turning Point, which will be available starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Impact Plus Fight TV and YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders. Kazarian and Hendry break here tomorrow night at Turning Point. Hendry tangles with Simon Miller of What Culture and YouTube fame, two longtime friends. That has gone south. Those two battle tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Kazarian is going to team up with the reigning X Division champion Chris Sabin to take on the most professional wrestling gods, Moose and Brian Myers, who we will see in action later on tonight.
You have to wonder, you know, we ask questions like this all the time, that footage of Hendry and Simon Miller trying to film an episode of his show Food Fight really turned into a literal fight in and of itself. You have to wonder if a lot of that is on the mind of JoeHenry ahead of Turning Point tomorrow night, but he's got to keep it in the here and now against an opponent the caliber of Frankie Kazarian.
Kazarian gets to the bottom rope there, breaks things up, takes a moment to regroup. Can you imagine being in the shoes of Frankie Kazarian, Eric Young, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace? The list goes on and on. Those wrestlers that were in the ring, Ray Wall, to close out Bound for Glory when the news was broken that TNA is coming back.
I mean, you heard it. If you were in that building in Chicago, you felt it. We felt it at the table. I mean, the numerous videos that have sprouted all over social media and the internet as of late have shown you the different sides, the different reactions. The energy was electric. And you know what? That's similar here. Again, I keep bringing it back to the energy that has been brought to the Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling locker room here on this entire tour through the UK. There is no electricity like a live TNA Impact Wrestling crowd.
It's been such a fun year for Impact Wrestling to get out beyond North America in the wake of the pandemic, the trip down under to Australia, now the UK Invasion Tour. Impact will be in Mexico in November. Frankie Kazarian, he loves these opportunities for international tours, and for Impact Wrestling, it's our first time in nearly 8 years performing major events in the United Kingdom.
And, you know, Tom, I don't mean to take away from all the exciting things that are happening all around our Impact Wrestling universe as a whole, but this match has been very 50-50 ground, very scientific, a lot of holds back and forth. Hasn't really exploded yet. Both these guys really kind of taking it back to one-on-one level, which I really appreciate as now the beat across the chest from the JoeHenry song and the JoeHenry faithful here in Scotland.
It went from that technical acumen, as you mentioned, and now some raw power from JoeHenry. 252 pounds has got Frankie Kazarian up in this stalling suplex. Kazarian, no small man, dumped to the canvas. Here's the cover to win the Glasgow Cup and a kick out. Now, Hendry has his plate full. As I mentioned, Simon Miller on his horizon tomorrow night at Turning Point. Then on Thursday, November 9th, he will compete on Impact Wrestling on Access TV against Brian Myers.
Cover here.
Trying to win this tournament, and a kick out there by Kazarian.
Here we are in Glasgow, the Glasgow Cup on the line. God, I keep coming back, JoeHenry. This has got to feel like a must-win situation here. The power advantage in the corner of Hendry thus far. He seemed to succeed the most when he's gone to that game. Kazarian, of course, has that experience, has a little bit more of the speed, perhaps. What is going to win out here? There you go!
And Hendry goes down hard. It's Kazarian and Hendry in the finals. Who will win the Glasgow Cup? right, we are back here inside the O2 Academy in Glasgow. This is the finals of the tournament for the Glasgow Cup. JoeHenry one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. Kazarian took over before the commercial break. Raywald, a nasty fall for JoeHenry outside the ring as Kaz brings things back inside the ropes.
You know, it was right before break I was talking about what is going to win out. The experience of Frankie Kazarian, that power that JoeHenry likes to tout so much, and there you saw it. Kazarian saw a moment to strike, managed to knock Hendry to the outside, and now is taking over this matchup.
Power slam off the rope. Oh, and a leg drop right to the chest. Isn't enough to win the Glasgow Cup, and a kick out.
Kazarian, I just want to tell you, immediately right into that hold there, smart move.
Both these men have already competed once earlier on this evening. As we mentioned before the break, Frankie Kazarian took out the Phenom, Leon Slater, has so much promise. Meanwhile, JoeHenry defeated Rich Swann, a former Impact World Champion, in order to advance here in this tournament.
And that's something to consider too when you wrestle in these tournaments like that. It's always a question of how much do you put in versus how much do you conserve for a later matchup. These guys both, hopefully, they've made the right choices. And now, but here is where it all gets out. Everything you've got left in the tank needs to come to the surface.
Now Hendry trying to reverse things since Kazarian opposite side caught there with a back elbow. Oh, Hendry rushes into the turnbuckles. Both men along the ropes and the guillotine leg drop there out on the apron. Kaz is feeling it.
And whoa!
Inside to win the tournament, and Hendry able to kick out. Big clothesline by Kaz.
Frankie Kazarian busting out every trick in his playbook there. That beautiful dive over the ropes into the Oklahoma roll, but still not quite enough to put home the native son, JoeHenry.
And a reminder, IPWF is back on Saturday, November 11th in Toronto. Don't miss Throwback Throwdown 4, which will be seen in the future on Access TV. Tickets are on sale now at ImpactWrestling.com.
Looking for that chicken wing.
Think about the chicken wing up on the back here of JoeHenry. Realizes the power of Hendry. Can't seem to lock it in, Raywald.
Hendry, he's blocking across the throat there. That's key, because that's where it all gets cinched in. Look at this, the power, the inspiration of JoeHenry boiling over.
Suplex by Hendry, and down goes Kazarian. And again, Kazarian had to put all of his body mass onto the back of Hendry to even attempt to lock in the chicken wing. You gotta wonder what it's gonna take, and if Kazarian even goes back to that for the chicken wing.
That's right, he's gonna have to wear down someone like Hendry a lot more, but Hendry right now is a head full of steam. Train engine full speed ahead here.
Ducks underneath, and Kazarian went for a cross body. And a fall-away slam by Hendry.
And now Hendry is cooking. He is believing his fellow countrymen getting behind him here.
Oh, now JoeHenry looking for the standing ovation. And now back to the corner, chicken wing time. And again, Kazarian was trying to use the environment of the ring to lock it in. That didn't work. Turned it into a neck breaker. Is this enough? Trying to win the Glasgow Cup, and a kick out by Hendry.
I mean, that is twice now that Hendry has had the chicken wing scouted, has had an answer for it, has had a counter for it. If you're Frankie Kazarian, all that veteran experience has got to have you questioning, if I can't get this locked in, what do I go to next? Oh, wait, look out.
Oh, wait a minute. Up onto the shoulders. Now Hendry holding onto the rope, able to create a little bit of separation up onto the shoulders once again.
And
Trust fall.
That rattles Kazarian in the cutter.
Got him with a cutter. Could that do it? Kazarian gets the left shoulder up in time.
He did, Tom, but I gotta call him a little bit. There was not a whole lot of life left behind that kick out, at least not initially. Hendry is really wearing down, as he put it, the legendary Frankie Kazarian.
Hendry has his homeland behind him this evening in Glasgow, trying to win the Glasgow Cup. Hold on. Fade to black! Fade to black!
Huge!
Oh, and Kazarian can't end the matchup.
And the look on the face of Kaz says it all. He can't quite believe it as the countrymen of JoeHenry rally around him.
Kazarian, you can sense getting frustrated. He's gone for that chicken wing twice. He went for fade to black, which has paid off a lot recently in impact for him. Oh, and especially over the years, an uppercut there by Hendry.
Hendry bringing it to the high rent district here, all the way down.
Superplex by Hendry.
Took a lot out of JoeHenry as well, though. Can he capitalize?
Great respect shown by the fans here in Scotland tonight. Kazarian and Hendry in this one-night-only four-man tournament. The finals right now for the Glasgow Cup.
And after both guys have dropped a couple of their big heavy hitters into the bowl here, now breaking down into just a slugfest between these two at the end of this tournament.
Well, now Kazarian tracked down there by Hendry. Kazarian responds with a forearm shiver.
Back and forth here. Wait, look out!
Oh, backslide. Kazarian nearly had it.
Another roll up.
Hold on, trying to get the shoulders of Hendry down. A kick out there. Both men back up to their feet. Now Hendry, shoulders down on Kazarian and a kick out.
Both guys trying to get a quick victory here. Can they wrap it up here?
Shoulders down again. Kaz can't get the win just yet. And now
look
look at Hendry. Hook to the leg here. Hendry's beaten Kazarian. Hendry wins the Glasgow Cup.
He appears. I believe in JoeHenry. I believe in JoeHenry. 'Cause you love him in London. Here is your winner, Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico.
Hendry's fellow Scotsman Simon Cassidy of ICW doing the honors tonight as our ring announcer. What a moment for JoeHenry in front of his countrymen and women.
I said this was a must-win scenario, or at least I have to imagine in the mind and the heart of JoeHenry here in Scotland that it was. And indeed, he busted out everything he needed to do. And look, the boss himself here to hand over that Glasgow Cup.
The president of Impact Wrestling, Scott D'Amore, awarding the Glasgow Cup to JoeHenry. But still to come tonight, Subculture face Moose, Myers, and Peraza.